Kara here, and I'm actually here with...
I'm Mark Lobliner from TigerFitness.com. You probably seen me here a while ago. Yeah. We've done some videos. Remember, we were in Dallas. We've had a few things, but while we're here, we did some videos for Dr. Stu's Dr. Stu's lower back book, and she was the model for it. So you could see
those out.
Her Kegel demonstration. I'm not joking. Was amazing.
Very helpful tips there. Now I'm here.
Kegel tips. Sorry, I'm messing up your channel. You messed up my channel first.
This is true. You'll have to check that out. We are here in Mark's basement. I wanted to take this opportunity to do a little video with Mark because he is my coach. I've been working with him for over a year and a half now. We started working on my metabolism last January. Last summer, we started doing a cut. I was thinking about doing a competition. I wasn't sure. We ended up doing the MTS photo shoot. Instead, I wasn't quite there yet.
You were within.
You said I could go if I wanted to, but I wasn't quite feeling there. We discussed working on my metabolism a bit longer, so that's basically what I've been doing with Mark. Since then, however, I did take the past couple months off. I told Mark I was getting mental with the scale, the tracking. I had to take a break. I took a break. And now I'm really thinking about doing a competition, and I found one this summer. It's August 2nd. It's the MPC Excalibur Cup, I believe, in Jersey or Pennsylvania. I forget. But that's my focus right now. So
I plan on being there, by the way. So if y'all go there, we'll be there.
Shit, yeah, really?
But I probably won't sponsor it. I don't want. And here's the thing, like, that's where I have issues, like, you know, with clients and shows, like if you sponsor it.
Yeah.
Like Doug won the Yorton hands down, right?
Right, yeah.
But his company was the title sponsor. People were like, well, it's because he's sponsoring. No, it's because he's Doug Miller.
Yeah.
Judges don't care who sponsors the show.
Yeah, they don't.
NPC is not the OCB, so I can speak for the OCB.
Yeah. I
can't speak for the NPC, but it depends on the promoter. But I want this to be the most fair show ever. I'll be there. I'll pay my $25 to $50 to get in.
Yeah.
I'll expense it because I'm smart like that.
It's a Gary Udit show. Do you know Gary Udit?
Gary puts on decent shows.
He does, yeah.
He does. I have nothing bad to say about Gary Udit.
Yep.
I have a lot of bad things to say about other people. We'll save that for another video. Gary Udit, nothing but good things I've heard about him.
Right. So I'm here. I'm about 16 weeks out-ish, I guess that would make me. And Mark is going to start prepping me on Monday once I get back. I'm obviously traveling right now. I didn't travel with my bikini, but I threw on what was next best to being half naked, so that Mark could kind of talk through maybe a slight critique, but also to talk about what I'm going to need to do or what he thinks in his honest opinion about where I'm at right now, 16 weeks out, what this plan is going to kind of look like, or kind of what you think we're going to have to start with in this upcoming week.
Yeah, upcoming week, I mean, it's bikini.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to bring in striations, although bikini in the NP depends on the judging panel.
It does.
At the end of the day, we're going to err on the side of being lean.
Right.
And the thing is, when you're shredded, when you're lean, even in bikini, unless you're emaciated and almost eating disorder looking.
Right. Which you do see some of those.
Well, but here's the thing. You can pose. Like me, even though I'm a bodybuilder known for bringing shreds and striations, that's my thing is veins. When we did our photo shoot, if you notice, most of the shoots you can't even see veins. I'm like this. It's more lifestyle.
Right.
So we can always pose around being lean, but you can't pose around being fat. If you're fat on stage, you have no business being on stage. And what I want to get to with what she's doing is, before we get into talking about you specifically, is prep in general shouldn't vary from her lifestyle. And I actually, as a coach, your goal, and I think even Lane says this, if you're not getting ready for something, go off on your own and be responsible and maintain your physique or just moderately get a little bit worse.
Right.
If you just fall off the wagon without someone watching it, we're not doing our job as a coach.
Yeah.
So the fact is, I want people to go and have their lifestyle, be able to live, be able to go on a vacation and make healthy food choices to get it done. And with what we do is there's flexible dieting, focusing on micronutrient dense foods. But if she feels like having a cookie factored in, fit in the macros, is her off-season diet will be the same as her prep diet, other than less of it. Right. Because she already has that set up.
Right.
And obviously you have to adhere to different, if we lower your fat, obviously you eat less whole eggs and more egg whites.
Yeah.
So it forces you almost to adhere to what we call bro, because you just can't fit the fun stuff in. Like right now her macros are up there. So if she feels like having a little extra sauce on her chicken, she could do that.
Right.
Whereas when you get to the depths of prep, when you only have 40 grams of carb to work with, you ain't putting barbecue sauce on your chicken.
Right.
When you got 240 grams of carbs, you're doing Ronnie Coleman style, just dolloping that stuff on there.
Yeah.
But as far as you specifically, you know, at the end of the day, your structure is your structure.
Right.
You're going to deal with it. You work on your posing.
Hoping to have gained a little muscle mass.
She's gained muscle. What we want to look at in bikini is you're looking at the shoulder.
Yeah.
Shoulders are key in everything. Now, in the NPC rule book, you don't want cap delts. I don't know what cap delts even mean. So basically, you don't want striated, nasty 3D delts.
Yeah.
But then again, I've seen girls win bikini with striated. It's a judging panel. We're flipping a coin. It varies
local to national stage, so you just
So what we're gonna do is just bring in the best, leanest package, focusing on for bikini and figure. Normally, it's one from the back. You want that. You want a nice. I mean, I'm not gonna demo, but you want this. You see that area between that right there? You want a nice cup between the glutes and then the butt. As a judge, that shows conditioning, symmetry.
And they don't want you to bend all the way over to see them either.
That's their opinion. I prefer people bending all the way over. When I'm judging, go ahead and do this.
I've gotten in trouble for that. Yeah, don't do that.
I've gotten in trouble for it too. I don't even do bikini.
You gotta arch.
You want to have good hamstrings. You want to have cleanliness. You don't want to have dimples. That's key. That happens on stage.
You don't want any jiggling too much of stuff.
What's really funny with bikini is you'll see girls who are lean in the front, but women tend to store fat in their. So you'll see a girl who has abs with dimples in her ass.
Right.
So that's where she just didn't diet enough, because some people lose fat not evenly.
Right.
So we need to.
I will lose it from the little bitty boobs that I have before it comes off of this area, and that's just what I have to work with.
For $6K, we could fix that. Yeah. It's just I don't think I can expense it on MTS. I don't know if I have that. Right. My accountant might. But obviously, you want tight abs.
Right.
If bikini girls have outlines of abs, again, like my abs are in all the time, but unless I crunch them down, they're not flexed. So if you get abs,
I don't have abs right now, but it's not like I'm working with like a huge
But you don't need a chiseled six pack. For figure that helps, but for bikini, you just want a flat waist, nice taper, and you don't want anything, jiggling out of place. And for butts, while it's good to have you can have a nice juicy ass on stage.
Right.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you can have a good ass on stage.
I represent the juicy asses of YouTube. So.
Yeah, but I
am the original juicy ass of YouTube. I'll have you know, I've been around since 2011. Yes. I've paved the way for those juicy ass accounts.
The new generation.
That probably is not right.
but the sexy vanilla, is it?
Yes, sexy vanillas. I'm representing.
So basically, what we want is, when you turn this side and the back, you want to have that nice formed ass. You don't want an emaciated no ass.
Right.
But you also don't want it to have excess jiggle. You don't want that wiggle.
And you want the separation of the booty and the hamstring.
Yes.
Like us ladies get the little underbutt right here. This is a very challenging spot to lose.
I look for, when I'm judging, because it's genetics. I mean, some women have different shaped asses.
Right.
And bikini is all subjective. And I've said this on camera and I judge, but it's a lot of sexual preference for men and women judges. Where I've been with judges who prefer a certain type of women, might be ethnically based, where a woman with a bigger ass.
Right.
We'll have the judging panel for bikini. See, bodybuilding is pretty simple. There's usually number 1 to number 6, and you might vary. Number 1 and 2 might swap. Number 5 and 6 might swap. 2 and 3 is usually similar, but the winner's always
usually a clear distinction.
Usually, it's a clear distinction of who's the top 1 or 2. In bikini, the voting is. I've only seen one unanimous bikini show. Maria.
Yes.
She was 1 point away from a pro card.
Yeah.
She lost to a girl who was in less shape, not as conditioned.
Right.
But she was. But she had a better. Basically, God gave her a better overall symmetrical package.
She had the balance there.
So, you had 4 judges vote one way, 3 vote the other. Right. And then judging's 1 through 6, so she might have got a 5 from one and a 1 from another.
Right.
And so there's no consistency in bikini.
Right.
So if you lose a bikini show, you could go next week to another one and win the whole thing.
Take the whole thing. Yeah.
That's not saying, but the only thing we can do in bikini is train like you're a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Put on as much muscle. As a natural female, your testosterone level at best is going to be 75.
Right.
You're not going to develop an Adam's apple and a penis. You're just going to develop as much lean muscle as possible. There's a girl who trained with me and did my workout.
Yeah.
And I'm called the Machine.
Yeah.
Me and Doug Miller are known for our workouts. Yeah. And, people like us and Branch and those guys. And she hung with me. and this is as big as she can get.
Yeah.
So you ladies worried about putting on too much size to our bikini. I'm training for bikini now. No, train like you're a bodybuilder.
Right.
And then diet down.
How do you, like, so my last national show was the last show I competed at, and my critique was I didn't come in lean enough. Fine, I had that, but he did say work on my upper body. Now, do you think I'm at the point right now where if I lean out enough, I can have the symmetry I need? I do carry more in my lower body, but I've trained a lot of shoulders to try to put a little more mass.
Yeah, I would put focus on delts. I always put focus on delts. If you've all of my figure and bikini routines that I've written, everybody's like, hey, when you coach people, do you do individual routines? I'm like, no, I'm not going to make your own routine because there's only so many ways you can put back and buys together. Right. I have like 20 different things I've written over the years, 30, and they all work. But for bikini, we want to focus mainly on the delts.
Right. You want teeny waist.
And also your legs, your hips and glutes, because that's for women, that's the best part. That's the best part. It's the best part. Right. It's the worst part. It's the best part for me, the worst part for them, because it's the last thing to go. For men, you're looking at love handles, you're looking at in here, and you're looking at right here. That's usually the last to go. For most. For me, it's my upper back. I'm freaking weird. Some men have issues with their glutes, which is a new age era because you didn't need to bring glutes back in the day.
Right.
But for women, this is going to be the last to go.
Right.
So, her front's going to be ready. 16 weeks is fine because you didn't get fat. A lot of women, because you're smart. You're an educated, registered dietitian. A lot of girls go full retard or full potato. In the off season, and they bulk. Yeah. The only reason to bulk is because you like food and you just want to live normal. Right. But you're living normal, you're living healthy, but your choices are better.
I love food.
So we only have, in 16 weeks, if we lose a pound a week, that puts you where I want you, about 108. I'm guessing, here's the thing, I don't know, for example, Alyssa, she's 20 weeks out, I think. I think she's like 19 weeks out.
Okay.
And I'm last year she competed at 122. Okay. I think she can come in between 125 and 127, but I won't know till we get to 120,
it's
130
hard to say, right.
what comes in because we need to see. We don't know.
We don't know what's under here. I used to compete anywhere between 98 pounds to 104
I don't want her under 100 pounds.
Sitting at 108 as my usual body weight. I've been sitting at 118, upwards of 120.
I think you're leaner now than you looked at 110 though. Back
I think so too. I definitely think I've put on good muscle, so it's hard to say where we want my weight. That's where the importance of progress pictures, sending them.
And progress pictures, again, for women, your front's probably going to be in at week 10. Yeah. Week 8 to week 10 out. Yeah. Whereas then we're just going to be well, we need to see the butt. That's what we need to focus on.
Getting those hamstrings to come out is challenging for me. Now you can't really see them unless I'm bending over a lot, which isn't appropriate.
Yeah, and as a judge, bikini is one from the back. There's been many times girls come in the front, you're like, oh man, look at number 7, and then they turn around and you're like, nope. Okay, look at number 2. Because the back is the last to go.
Flip them around, okay.
You always got to flip them over midway through.
Flip them quite a few times.
You got to smack it up, flip it, rub it down.
Keeps that fun.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
All of you from our era understand that song. Do Me Baby?
Do Me Baby?
Is that Belle Biv DeVoe?
That might be. Oh, I haven't heard Belle Biv DeVoe.
Jason, was that Belle Biv DeVoe?
He doesn't know
that one.
You're too Caucasian for this channel.
He's older than us.
Oh yeah, dude, you were listening to what was back in your day? That was bubblegum oldies, Elvis.
He was a hardcore guy.
Oh no, he was grunge. Music. All right, cool. But that's my opinion. I think you're there. You've put on as much muscle as possible.
Yeah.
And I think you could come in weighing probably 8 pounds more than your last show.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, you are 5'2".
Yes.
But under 100 pounds, that's when I'm like, holy, well, that's low. That's scary low. I think my 2-year-old weighs more.
That's not a look I even like to have or want to have. It's too small.
No, that's really small.
I want to look fit and healthy, and really, like you said, I can't control the judge. The judges could be completely different every show, so I just want to go in feeling good about what I'm bringing. So
more than bodybuilders. Bodybuilders, I had a guy turn pro the other day, which I don't really go, hey, my client turned pro. I don't. If people, that's not. I don't want more. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's he had shredded glutes. I knew he'd come in top 2. I'm like, bro, if you don't get top 2, throw a chair. Because no one's going to bring your ass to the stage. That ass was good. I don't know about his package. I wasn't looking that close. But his ass was great. Whereas in bikini, I'm cognizant to tell girls, and figure as well, you're in and men's physique as well. You're in a show where there's no judging criteria. There is, but it's ambiguous. Right. And it's the worst. And as a judge, it's the hardest thing to judge because your criteria based on the organization and based on your preference.
Right.
And it's essentially it's a beauty pageant.
Right. Yeah.
And like me, just for example, I'm not saying, but I like brunettes, whereas my man Chad Austin, he might like blondes.
Right.
That might be the truth. So I mean, that's gonna, even if we're trying to be as objective as possible, which we try, it's our job to try.
Right.
Your personal preference
right.
for how a female
Absolutely.
looks. Whereas in figure, it's easier because if a girl comes in with a Christmas tree and a wingspan,
right,
she wins.
Right.
In bikini, if a girl comes with a Christmas tree and wingspan, we don't know what to do with her.
Yeah.
Then we just look at the ass. No, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So I think you're obviously on track.
Okay.
Because you haven't started. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, what we need to do now is just set the macros,
Yes.
figure out what your macros are. So basically, the first week is a feel out week. We start high. I like to start super high.
Yeah.
To the point where most people complain it's too much food.
Right, I can't
and I'm like,
handle this.
enjoy it because you're gonna hate
not
life in about
lasting
5
long.
weeks. So I start high because you can always come down. It's just like in marketing. When you price a product, you don't want to price it low. You price it high because you can always lower it, but you can't bring it up. So we can always lower calories. So we start there, and that actually, no science, okay, all you science geeks, don't call me on this. Empirically speaking, it does give the metabolism a little if you start higher. And then you start cutting it down, and then you notice it plateaus, and then you're like, okay, now we can diet. It usually takes about 7 to 10 days to figure out what a person's eating, because calculators don't work. Because I've actually done a calculator before, and with my metabolism, I would have lost about 10 pounds every 4 days. Based on, so calculators out the door.
Right.
If a coach gives you a calculator and he doesn't adjust what the calculator says, fire him. Because he doesn't know that everybody's individual.
Everyone's different.
And you got to feel it out. That's a cookie cutter coach, and that's someone you don't want.
There's no calculator that's going to tell you exactly. I get asked
My
that all the time.
yeah.
I tell people, track what you're doing right now, monitor your progress on what you're doing, and then see.
I know this
where to
video
go
is
from
going
there.
long, but I think it's a good thing. It needs to be explained. And the thing is with coaching, people have asked me, well, okay, you're overwhelmed, you have all these things going on. Why don't you just hire someone under you? I'm like, because they don't have 15 years of experience.
Right.
Like, I look at someone, I look at their form, I look at their chart, and I'm like, 100 grams of fat. Why? That's going to work. At least it's a good starting point.
Yeah.
And I look at what they did in the past, and I again, like, even Lane says, 80% of what we do is based on judgment and feel.
Right.
And I use Lane as an example because right now, I mean, he's the dude who's turned more people pro in natural bodybuilding, and now in not so much natural bodybuilding.
Absolutely.
And Lane ain't doing anybody's drug cycles. Lane just knows how to manipulate macronutrients. So that's why I use him as an example, because he's a science guy. He's literally a PhD.
Right.
And even he's like, I remember one time where he's like, what was he? Some sandwich or Skyline chili or something between shows. I'm like, why the hell are you doing that? When he was competing, he's like, it's because it works for me.
Right.
I'm like, did you in the lab dissect the processed chili? Like, dude, chili on, I don't know if it was Skyline, but it was something like retarded.
Yeah.
It was something, and we even made fun of him. And like his refeed was like this crappy Chinese food place in Ohio called Guangdong. So we used to just call him Guangdong for a while. So half the stuff we do, if you're with a good coach, they'll have their basis in science, but they should have that experience to be able to kind of just judge. So there's no replicating it.
Yeah,
but
your coach is crucial. That's why I'm working with Mark. I trust him. He looks out for the best interest of my health, and that is what I'm doing from here on out.
I was happy when you decided not to compete. Really.
Yeah, you were. You were like, good. I don't think
if you're not mentally prepared to compete, and you have people, if you think that she just sits and does YouTube videos, she's got a real career, like running real stuff, right? I mean, so she's not just sitting around counting macros, or she doesn't have a rudimentary, just mindless job. She has an actual, like, demanding, mentally and physically demanding career. So if she's not mentally set, and let's put someone who has kids, I mean, you're not going to be, like, Jason's going to hate you for a couple weeks.
Right.
He'll be nice about it. He'll just avoid you.
Right.
If he's smart.
He is.
But there's gonna be times when it's gonna suck. So if you're not mentally ready, or if your life isn't ready for that variable, don't do it.
And that's a good point. Shit can come up, especially with my job. Like last time I competed, we had a huge survey going on at the hospital, and it was so much on me. It showed in my body. I chose to compete and do it anyways, but it showed, and I felt horrible about going out there like that. So it depends on the person, but when shit comes up, you just have to.
I respect that more.
You know?
Joe, I don't know if I'm allowed to, but my man at Muscle and Strength, Joe, I prepped him. Physique show. He was 5 weeks out, ready. Could have gone on stage that day, bought a house. You know, they're doing their thing.
Right.
Their company's growing. He's like, I'm ready, but I don't know if I could do 5 weeks. He's like, I don't want you to lose respect for me, but I don't think it's proper for me to do this with my kids and my family. I'm like, Joe,
that's more respect.
You just earned more respect from me than getting on that stage, because I've seen so many people ruin their lives getting on stage when they're not ready.
Yeah.
And then it just afterwards, you're done with the show and your body just doesn't.
Yep.
No, you're gonna have 5 to 6 weeks where you feel like absolute shit.
Yeah.
Because your body's readjusting. Yeah. And then you look around and the carnage you've created around you, your family hates you.
Yeah.
You're probably getting demoted at work if you're not ready.
Right.
And you're like, oh my God, why did I do that?
Right, you probably have no friends because you had no.
Yeah, and so then you're trying to, then not only are you going through the emotional roller coaster and the hormonal roller coaster of coming off a show, but then you have to figure out how to put your life back together.
Right.
So make sure you have all your stuff in order, and know, I have a video on the ugly truths of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
You can just Google that or whatever. And just know that it's not a game. It's real shit when you compete. It's not just getting on stage. It's not just playing a weekend softball game. It's something that completely takes over your life.
It's your life. It's like a part-time job. It's like a full-time job.
It's a job that
has to take first priority, which is difficult, especially when people have careers and families and businesses and everything else you have to worry about.
With your career, that's why I'm like, look, you know, if you're not mentally, if you're for 1 minute doubting your prep, don't do it.
Right.
You don't do it unless you're all in. You know, and that's where I'm at. It was like, you know, you're ready for your show. You're ready for that pro show and this and that. I'm like, yeah, but nobody out there knows. Like, you guys have lived with us for 3 days, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of see how crazy it is.
Yeah.
You know, this morning it's Mother's Day.
Yep.
We relaunched the site.
Right.
I've been on the phone all day trying to figure out what's going on, editing stuff, making sure everything's going on.
Right.
And you got the kid variable. You have, obviously, marriage is not easy. So if you're married, that's hard enough when you're not prepping.
Yep.
Throw that variable in, and
exactly.
you could get a divorce. Divorces
could.
cost more than prep. But yeah, that's it. I mean, just do your thing.
Right.
All you have to do, not change a thing, just monitor macros. We're not switching to efficient meal 2.
Right.
We're not
How am I
hippies.
going to thin my skin though? We're not going to go there.
We're just going to shave the top layer off. But
I'm going to be totally transparent with my channel throughout this entire process. I'm going to, keep posting videos if I'm having shit days or how I'm feeling, or, I'm going to be completely open and honest with this prep. And if I do decide other stuff has to take priority and I'm going to drop out, I'll be totally honest about it. You know what I mean? So I am going to keep posting videos of that nature to try to show what prep is like, trying to do it as balanced and as healthy as possible, because I've never done it this way. I mean, I've been working with you a while, but I haven't actually done a competition prepping.
We did started with calories high and cardio low.
Right.
Last time we started with calories low and cardio low.
Exactly.
Cardio high.
Yeah.
So we're at a very advantageous spot there.
Yeah.
And I think mentally you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
Because you've had that break from thinking about it, and you've just enjoyed training.
Right.
And that's what we got to get back to why we started in this. And I don't think you have enough mental disorders to get involved in female competitions. You need to develop some, like some kind of daddy issues or something. I mean, your career as a stripper fell through. I mean, at the end of the day, you're wearing clear heels. No, not in bikini though. Are you? No.
Yes.
Well, they started out without heels.
Oh, did they really?
They did.
Yeah.
And then they're like, nah, this ain't slutty enough.
Yeah,
let's bring in the clear heels.
Yeah, we
Then
rocked
Chris
that.
Rock.
Yeah.
The goal of any dad is to keep your daughter off the pole. That's it. I have nothing more to add other than the only change will be increasing cardio. The goal is to keep cardio as low as possible, calories as high as possible. Yes. But if shit gets rough, it's going to suck.
Things are going to move.
I don't know.
That's the truth. We'll keep you posted. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thanks for having me in my house. On your channel.
And a side of steamed broccoli. And Jason, you want to show what you got? Jason got chicken. He asked for it plain, even though it looks like it's got some butter oil on it. And then he just got a plain sweet potato and a side of barbecue sauce for him. I typically, I eat more out of the 2